Why are the UK's Royal Navy submariners more likely to get head injuries when sailing away from home than on the way back? I'll say that again. Why are the UK's Royal Navy submariners more likely to get head injuries when sailing away from home than on the way back?
Ooh.
Good news, I don't know this one.
Yay! Eventually, you're going to run out of questions that you don't know on the song, on the show, I would imagine.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were on you're like, well, I've been on a submarine leaving, but I haven't been on a submarine returning, so I don't know the answer yet.
I've never been on a submarine. Not
Really?
like actual working one. The museum one in dry dock, maybe, but no. And the ride at Disneyland that isn't technically a submarine.
Would you like to go on a submarine, Tom?
Depends on the submarine. If it's Ocean Gate, no. I did actually think about that. Like, I was never offered to go on a video Ocean Gate or anything like that. But like, if I'd have been offered that, would I have taken it?
You wouldn't not be offered that.
Right. And like, if I'd have been offered that and gone out there and gone, yeah, we're going to go down, like, would I have been, not brave enough to do it, but brave enough to look at what was going on there and smart enough to look at what was going on there and say no at the point when I'm already there?
When you saw if you saw the video controller, would
don't
you
know.
have been like, no, I'm not doing that?
I feel like I've done sketchier things than that. And I do wonder if I'd have had like the wherewithal and the bravery to turn someone down at that point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not because a submarine got crushed.
No, it's not nothing to do with crushing.
My first thought was like some kind of Doppler effect with radar, where it's like when you're leaving, the sound waves are not going to bounce against the shore and hit you and make you dizzy, but part of me thinks it might be dumber, and it's like you hit your head on something.
Okay, but if you hit your head on something, that might be because you get shorter during the voyage. Admittedly, this is astronauts, not submariners, so it's kind of the opposite.
Wow.
But no, astronauts get taller during their voyage because no gravity.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's something that makes submariners shorter, and thus they're less likely to hit their heads.
I do really like the idea of just it takes time for them to get used to being on a submarine, and therefore they're just gonna they're gonna bump their head a little bit when they first start off.
But it's on the return, you said, Ella, right?
Yes, it's on the return. I can confirm that I don't know if your physicality changes if you spend time on a submarine, but it's not that.
Okay. Does something in the orientation change when, oh my God, it does. Wait, do submarines go, I assume they don't, they have a forward. Do they have a front and then they turn around, or do they return backwards?
I think they have a forward. They have.
Okay.
Submarines definitely have a fore and aft. There is a
that
big
makes
old
sense.
propeller at the back.
Yeah, that sure does make sense.
Actually, it goes out upside down, so they're already.
Well, does the propeller rotate them ever so slightly clockwise in a way that returning and coming back? Is this a clever thing or very silly, Ella?
It's quite. I would say it's quite silly in its way. It's important. It's vital for the ship and it's rather the submariners. But it's not like some very clever seafaring thing that's happening.
Yeah. Do they have less food and stuff on board, so it's lighter?
I'm not saying anything.
If they have less stuff on board, there's not much room on a submarine, Tom.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
Okay, so if there's less stuff physically just everywhere, there's less stuff for you to accidentally walk into and things like that. Is that sort of what it is?
Kind of. You're almost there.
What are you thinking, Tom?
I was thinking perishable supplies, anything that's stored that gets used up over time and eventually it's crushed and compacted down and put in the waste. There's just less stuff hanging up in the storage compartments overhead, so they get closed up. But
so not hanging up. You're right that there is less food and perishables and stuff, and that leads to them not hitting their head anymore. But why?
They consume banana peels and then they slip on them as a result of their So wait, so sorry.
They hit their head less on the way going back. So
They hit their head less on the way back. Oh, okay.
where would they be storing things?
Where would they be storing
The
things?
trash can, the closets, like storage closets,
There
containers.
isn't very much space on a submarine, right?
The spare bedroom.
So you've got to use whatever space you have available.
This is it. When you asked that, I was like, it's got to be everywhere. Including like above your head, like in corridors and things like that.
Corridors, yes, in corridors.
So they're putting stuff above them in the corridors, and then as they use the stuff up, there's less stuff above them in the corridors.
I mean, you're basically there, but flip it.
Below deck?
Yeah,
like, or
below the corridors. They put it below the corridors. The food is stored under the corridor, and as it's eaten, the floor lowers.
wow. Wow.
That makes so much more sense, actually. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I gave it to you. You were basically there. So
Yeah.
UK submarines are nuclear powered. So that means they spend a lot of time out at sea. And so you need to store a lot of food. There is not a lot of space. And so they have removable corridor panels that they put food under, and it raises them slightly. And so as they eat, they get rid of the food. The stores kind of disappear, and the corridor goes back to the normal level. And they don't hit their head as much, apparently.
That's wild.
The Lateral book is out now. Just click on the link to get your copy.